If you're a freelance photographer or videographer and you're looking to grow your business and maybe land your first $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 or even $20,000 client, this video is for you. And in this video, I'm essentially share with you the tips that help me scale and grow quickly rather than leaving me, I guess, wondering like, what am I doing wrong? What's happening? Why aren't these happening? You know, because I think that's the worst feeling. So let's just get straight to the chase. Number one, let's talk about why you're not attracting this client in, because you probably have this thinking of like, when I get that $10,000 client, I'll do X, Y, Z. And that's your first mistake. Or, you know, when I get that $20,000 client, I'll hire a salesperson, I'll hire an editor, I'll do whatever the heck it is. Like there's so many of those ideas out there, but the real reality is you can't attract that $10 or $15 or $20,000 client because number one, you don't have the systems in place. And I got a couple more behind these or two more behind these, but number one, like systems are so important. And if you think about it, like what is your system when you land a client? And how are they reaching out? How are you putting it out there? Like, so say this $10,000 client lands in your lap. The worst thing you can do is if you don't have systems and processes in place, you're going to fumble them. And not only are you going to fumble them, you're going to feel depressed and sad and be like, why me? But also that could be a bad experience for that person. And then having a bad experience with you, they could put that out there with other clients who's in their network that could have wanted to work with you, but instead of a referral, you're getting a rejection. So systems and processes are extremely important because essentially what you need to do is figure out how to cater a wonderful experience to your client from start to finish. And that is like a really good sales point too, is like whether you're a photographer, a videographer, or editor, like there's a ton of people out there doing the same thing as you, but the only thing that you can do better than them is give them your own unique experience. And by creating that unique experience, like that needs to be part of your systems and processes. So for instance, like I get clients reaching out from my website, referrals, and essentially from Instagram are my big three. And essentially like somebody reaches out on a one-on-one discovery call, they're already in the email, we have a time and date set, and I Zoom call them or just do a phone call, and I'll text them and message them right away and say, thank you for reaching out, filling out, my one-on-one discovery form. Looking forward to our meeting. Would you rather do a phone call or a call? Something very simple, but start catering and showing them that I'm trying to create a great experience. And then, if somebody reaches out on Instagram, those aren't as high quality of a lead. So what I'll do is essentially ask them questions. I'll check out their profile. I'll look into them a little bit so I kind of get a feel of what to talk to them about. But also I'm vetting that to see if it's worth my time to jump on a discovery call. Because the last thing I want to do is waste my time with somebody who's not worth it and miss somebody who really is. So I essentially ask them like what's and how's. If you guys haven't seen the sales video, watch that. But thank you for reaching out. Like what are you looking to create? What's the final deliverables like? But I ask all these questions that essentially make them feel very valued so that number one, I can see if they have the value for me or if it's just somebody that I'm going to connect with, collab with, or turn into like more of a follower or a fan. And then the last one, referrals. Same thing as like Instagram too. I didn't mention this here, is like I try to get them to email as quick as possible if I know they're worth my time, because email is going to be more professional. And then from email is how quick can I get them on a call? Because number one, don't want to waste their time. I don't want to waste my time, but I also want to make sure that it's worth both of our times to hop on a call. Number two, something that you might need in order to attract that dream client, whether it be the 5, 10, 15, 20,000, whatever the heck it is you need to have that inner belief that you're worthy of having that person. And essentially like having that inner belief is so important because what we believed yesterday is what we are today. Now, if you're somebody who hasn't ever worked with a $10,000 client, you might be like putting them up on a pedestal and being like, man, like I can't wait till I get that $10,000 client. And it almost seems like out of reach. Whereas if you start believing like, man, I don't know how I can't, or why I haven't attracted this $10,000 client yet. I got my systems and my processes in alignment. I've been putting out content. I'm putting out the best content of my life. Like, when you have that inner belief and you start being curious as why they're not attracting in, they start to attract in. And then also another secret is like not worrying about it, just like putting it off to the side, but essentially being the best that you can be every day, and essentially creating the best experience not only for yourself but for your business, and putting yourself out there as like that company that you're trying to attract for. So for instance, like if you're a $10,000 or if you're attracting a $10,000 client and you have what you call like a dirty restaurant, like say maybe your website's not too clean and not too fancy, your Instagram grid is all over the place and it doesn't really reflect you as a personal brand or as a brand that you're trying to portray, like all the stuff that you put out there, whether it be, like YouTube content like this or Instagram, Twitter, whatever you're putting out there, if it doesn't look to the caliber of what you're creating or trying to attract, you're not going to attract them. And that first tip in order to attract them, or the second tip, I guess, in this part of the video is like, you have to have that inner belief and you have to be that person on the inside before it starts on the outside. So, whether it's that $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 client that you're trying to attract, like, what is that person who attracts them? What are they like? Like, what's their daily routine? And this kind of goes into number 3. It's like, what's their daily routine? What systems and processes does their business have? What kind of content are they putting out? How often are they putting out that content? And like, with all this in mind too, like, how can you create the most value in all these put together to show anybody who watches your content, whether it be on LinkedIn, that's a good spot to find some good clients, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, like, these clients are out there watching you, and how can you have these systems and processes put out on a weekly basis so that you're consistent with putting your content out? Like, what's your content look like when you speak about yourself and put out stuff on social media? Is it show confidence? Does it show self-worth? Are you creating more value than you're trying to pull people or sell to them? Like, there's so many different things that you need to be aware of. And then essentially, yeah, like, daily routine, like, how can you put all this into one day, every day, and be consistent with it over weeks, months, and years? Because essentially, like, lack of consistency killed me, I think, for several years. But it was like I was trying to, like, perfect stuff so much rather than, like, what is that level that I can do it consistently over longevity of time? And essentially that has been, pulling this video together, like, those systems and processes, like, how much content can I put out in a week? What channels am I putting it out on? What kind of content is it? It's more value-based now than more sales-based, like, and then what inner belief did I have to change in order to get there? I left the perfectionist behind and was like, all right, what is the minimum that we can do, but it's still a better quality than the 90, 100% of the market, or 90% of the market? It's a better answer there. Like, what was I missing in the inside? Was I doubting myself a ton, Did I need more confidence? Yes, because I thought everybody was better than me, I also was like a lone wolf and was like, oh, I can do it all myself. Now I'm starting to hire people and replace myself on parts of the job that I don't enjoy because there's people who do it better and I can make more money off it, So guys, overall, like, these are tips that'll help you grow and land that dream client, whether it be 10 to like 20, 30 grand, whatever it is, you will land it as soon as you start to implement. Well, identify, implement, and change this stuff into your daily routine of systems, inner belief, and essentially making it a cohesive structure that runs like an actual business instead of a side hustle that makes you a little bit of money, So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it helped you out, and have a good day. Peace out.